Tonight on CitrusTV News, the Student Association tabled a decision on President Eric Evangelista. We were at last night's meeting when the announcement was made.
Changes are coming to Marshall Street after last night's Planning Commission meeting. Will your favorite hangouts leave town? We'll find out.
And we get an inside look into the Chill Room, how this space is helping kids at a local hospital dealing with developmental disorders.
Your campus news leader.
Our top story tonight, the SU Student Association is still deciding what to do about President Eric Evangelista. Good evening, I'm Nick Papantonis.
And I'm Claudia Bellofatto, filling in for Jackie Prager. Citrus TV's own Zach Levine was at the meeting to find out more.
Association President Eric Evangelista, but instead we're told the Judicial Review Board has yet to render a decision.
As it was brought to our attention, some people weren't able to testify or to give their testimony, so they wanted more time, particularly from the Assembly. So we wanted to get more people to have their voice being heard.
The Judicial Review Board met directly after the SA meeting and will reach a verdict later this week. Members of the Student Association will be informed on the decision before it is released to the general public. SA President Eric Evangelista is under judicial review for possibly violating the Student Association's constitution. Evangelista nominated Nicole Sherwood to fill the vacant position of Public Relations Co-Chair without offering the job opening to the SU student body. SA members expressed their concern over Evangelista's decision not to open applications to all students and Sherwood's attendance record at future meetings. The decision is expected to be announced next Monday here at Maxwell Hall. Zach Levine, Citrus TV News.
Based on the seriousness of this type of violation, Evangelista could face impeachment, though that would be an extreme outcome. Also on the Hill, the Syracuse Planning Commission voted on Monday to allow the demolition of Chuck's and Funkin' Waffles.
The property is being sold to a developer. They want to turn it into an 8-story building with apartments and retail space.
A separate plan calls for a new building at the current spot of Varsity Pizza and Fagan's Pub. The affected businesses are expected to have spots in the new buildings.
And the College of Law is celebrating its Diversity Week. The week continues tomorrow with a social experiment in the Levy Atrium, which will, quote, teach students more about privileges. Diversity Week is an annual event at the college. Today, the International Services Center on campus hosted 2 open houses. The center provided one-on-one conversations for student, faculty, and staff affected by the recent immigration orders issued by President Trump. Slutzker Center staff say today's open house is one of the many resources available on campus for support and advice to individuals affected.
We have some new details tonight on the fight to get Uber in Syracuse. The New York State Senate passed a bill that would allow it and other ride-sharing apps in upstate New York. Senators argued the bill would bring jobs to upstate and help prevent junk driving. Governor Cuomo says he supports the bill, but it still needs to be approved by the Assembly before it gets to his desk. The State Assembly failed to approve a similar bill that was passed by the Senate last year.
The New York State Assembly is calling to make New York a sanctuary state.
The Assembly passed a group of bills that would give more protections to undocumented immigrants. They're similar to the ones already given in cities like Manhattan and Syracuse. Republicans
said that the bills were unfair and unsafe and that President Trump will take funding from the state. Democrats say that it's worth the risk.
A Syracuse teenager has been charged with murder. Police say 18-year-old Connie Johnson has been arrested for the murder of Jason Davis. Davis was shot in the back in a residential neighborhood back in December. Syracuse police had previously issued a warrant for Johnson's arrest for the second-degree murder and first-degree robbery. 2 Western New York brothers are dead after a snowmobile accident in the Adirondacks. Police recovered the bodies of Stephen and Edward Sattler after their snowmobiles fell through the thin ice on Monday. 3 other men also fell through the ice when riding snowmobiles this past weekend, but were pulled to safety by a fellow rider. And the winter weather might be miserable, but take some solace. Syracuse is the 28th best city to live in the United States. That's according to a U.S. News and World Report. It ranks the top 100 cities in the nation. All 5 big cities in New York made the list, but Syracuse beat them all because of its affordability, short commute, and plenty of things to do. According to the list, the best place to live in the United States is Austin, Texas. And speaking of winter weather, we had a surprise today. It rained.
I was surprised. It was pretty cold. I thought it would snow, but I guess not. We have Gilat Melamed here in studio today. What's the weather looking like for this week?
Well, today was very wet, no secret. I bet Austin, Texas ranked better than us because they probably didn't have a map that looked like this. Check it out. Rain across almost the entire state. We had some snow a little to the northeast of us, so lucky we were able to dodge that. But taking a look now, it is still raining outside, 41 degrees, and it feels more like 33 because we have winds at above 10 miles per hour. When will this rain stop, though? I'll tell you that in my full forecast.
Coming up, the U.S. has a controversial new education secretary. We'll tell you how the vote broke down.
And a suicide bomber attacks Afghanistan's Supreme Court. Who the attacker was targeting, that's after the break.
The Senate has...
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The Senate has confirmed Betsy DeVos as the Secretary of Education.
The senators split 50-50 on the floor vote, and Vice President Mike Pence used his power as president of the Senate to break the tie.
Democrats spoke all night to delay the vote to today in hopes of getting a third Republican to vote against DeVos. This is the first time a vice president had to break a tie for a cabinet nomination.
Nearly 20 rabbis were arrested last night during a protest outside the Trump Hotel in New York City.
A crowd of roughly 200 people were protesting President Trump's refugee ban. A few members of the crowd, including the rabbi, sat down in the middle of the Central Park West and blocked traffic until New York City police arrived and arrested the protesters.
No word has been given yet on their arrest.
President Trump busied himself last night by accusing the media of underreporting terrorism.
The White House releasing a list of terrorist attacks today from September 2014 to December 2016 to back up the president's claims. 78 attacks were listed, including the ones in San Bernardino, Brussels, Nice, and the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando.
Many news outlets have released footage of their networks showing coverage on the attacks.
And the southern U.S. is getting hammered with severe weather.
At least 4 damaging tornadoes have touched down in the state, one of which hit the far eastern part of New Orleans.
A tornado warning will remain in effect in southern Alabama and the western part of the Florida Panhandle. Many other regions in the south are under severe thunderstorm warnings.
And moving overseas, at least 20 people are dead and 35 wounded after a suicide bomber detonated explosives outside of Afghanistan's Supreme Court building in Kabul.
The attack occurred at 3:45 p.m. local time in a parking lot outside the court. No organization yet has claimed responsibility for the attack.
This comes after an attack last month outside the Afghan parliament building that killed 36 people.
A Syrian refugee is suing Facebook this week for refusing to remove a selfie he took with German Chancellor Angela Merkel.
The selfie is being used in fake news of militant and terrorist attacks, such as falsely connecting him to the attack in Brussels earlier this year. The first hearing for the case will take place next Monday.
A shocking report out of Syria itself. According to an Amnesty International report, the Syrian government executed up to 13,000 prisoners in a military camp during the country's civil war.
The report says that the government carried out unfair trials which lasted only a few minutes. And after a conviction, the prison would torture and deprive the inmates before eventually hanging themselves in a mass execution.
The president of Syria has repeatedly denied accusations of mistreatment in the past, but hasn't commented on the allegations.
Iran Supreme leaders say Donald Trump has shown, quote, the real face of America.
The Ayatollah says Trump exposed political and moral corruption, and he is thankful that Trump confirmed his beliefs.
This is a continuation of the conflict between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump put sanctions on Iran after they tested a missile last week.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Across the region right now, pretty mild actually. Here in Syracuse, some mid-30s, even some 40s. Buffalo, Binghamton area, 40s also. So definitely nothing to complain about. Tonight we have the away game at Clemson, the Syracuse basketball game. If you're going somewhere to watch that, this is the weather you can expect later. Rain still, 46 degrees. It's going to be a light rain though, but you see those plus 20 mile per hour winds. So definitely you might want to bring an umbrella because it still might be hitting your face. Waking up tomorrow, 8 a.m., 41 degrees. It's going to feel like it's in the 30s again because of those double-digit winds. And tomorrow morning, surprisingly, no freeze outlook for Syracuse and most of New York, actually. Pretty rare for this time of year. All that to the middle and western part of the country. Looking at the rest of tomorrow, 9 a.m., 39 degrees. And it's going to get cooler as the day goes on, going down to 31 by 6 p.m. And it's going to feel like the mid-20s, and those temperatures are going to keep declining into the night. Valentine's Day is exactly a week away, and you know, everybody's planning where you're gonna go, what are the big plans. Good news is low chance of precipitation there, so you should not worry about your plans. 5-day forecast tomorrow, high 44, low 19. Thursday might have a little bit of a chance of snow with a high of 21 and a low of 14. Friday, Saturday, clouds in the forecast, and then Sunday we can expect to see the precipitation again with an 80% chance of rain.
So I saw in that 5-day forecast, we see some 40s. Isn't that above average for this time of year?
Yeah, you know, it definitely is above average. The average high for February is usually more like mid-30s, but don't get too comfortable because it's gonna be flip-flopping from 40s to highs of 20, so it's not here to stay.
Oh, looking forward to that. Thank you.
Coming up, General Motors sets a new record for the 2016 year, even though sales have been low in the United States.
And a local hospital's chill room is getting positive reviews. We'll take you inside for a closer look.
Twitter.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Twitter is rolling out new policies to help prevent online harassment. The company announcing a safe search function that prevents abusive tweets and blocked users from appearing in search results. The company is also working to prevent repeat offenders from creating new accounts. General Motors had its most profitable year in the company's history, selling more than 10 million cars in 2016.
This is despite slower sales in the United States. Strong sales in China contributed to the company's record profit. GM came in third amongst the most profitable automakers, right behind Toyota and Volkswagen. A new study has found fat shaming can result in serious health consequences. Keeping those negative feelings in is no longer considered a result of obesity. It's now a newly classified risk factor. The result of research shows women who believe fat-shaming messages are more likely to develop heart disease or diabetes than those who maintain a more positive body image.
It's been 6 months since Upstate Galcino's Family Behavior Analysis Program unveiled a new room to help children with autism. Meghan Mistry took a look at the multi-sensory room nicknamed the Chill Spot and how it affects families who use it.
The thing about autism is that individuals with that disorder tend to sort of experience the world around them differently than we would. And so some of the stimuli that we have in there are things that we might engage with them one way, but the children with autism might engage with them a different way.
The dark lights, calming music, and hands-on toys help children with autism relax. Both Joanne Hall's 8-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter have autism and use the multi-sensory room.
When they go out in the world, everything is so loud and it's bright and it's hard for them to concentrate. And when they go in that room, it's tranquility. They're just relaxed and they can focus and they're aware of their senses, because you have the visual, you have the hearing, you have the feeling, which is hard for them to do.
The multi-sensory room helps different kids in different ways. For Hall's daughter, Sophia, it's helped her feel comfortable touching different textures, like this string of fiber optic lights or even this bubble tube.
She couldn't touch any of those items last year, and even to be able to look at them and then to have to touch them, she would throw them and push them away.
Doctors have also used the room to prepare Sophia for kindergarten. They set a table in front of it and have her sit there for lengths of time, gradually increasing them.
And so we create a treatment where if she stands up before kind of her work time's over, then she doesn't get to go in the room.
Now Sophia can sit down for 10-minute increments, a huge improvement from just months ago. Meghan Mistry, CitrusTV News.
The room was made possible through a $25,000 grant from the Green family through the Upstate Foundation.
The 88-year-old daughter of Jamie Lynn Spears is in critical condition after crashing an ATV into a pond. Spears and her husband were unable to free the girl from her seatbelt and the ATV's safety netting. She was submerged for approximately 2 minutes before an ambulance arrived on scene. The Spears family is asking for prayers at this time. And supermodel Christie Brinkley first posed on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition in 1979. Nearly 4 decades later, Brinkley is making another appearance in the magazine at the age of 63. She poses in a black one-piece with her 2 daughters, Alexa and Sailor. The cover of the upcoming issue will be unveiled next Monday. And throughout February, Syracuse University is hosting a Sexual Health Awareness Month. Isha Battu has more on the options women have around campus.
I think that we do a lot of talk about preventing sexual relationship violence. We don't focus a lot on the positivity aspect, and I think that's a fun part to talk about sexuality in a way that's fun and positive, because it is a fun and positive experience.
The Office of Health Promotion and Bedsitter Incorporated hosted a screening of the Orgasm Inc. documentary last night in Stolkin Auditorium. This event was a part of Syracuse University's Sexual Health Awareness Month, also known as Frisky February.
So I'm excited because we do a lot of work with
preventing interpersonal violence on campus, and sex positivity is something that is kind of not overlooked, but just is something that we haven't really promoted as much. And so this entire month is just working towards that.
As you can see behind me, the organization also included many free resources for students to take. These resources included condoms, lubricants, and informative flyers on birth control.
Bedsider is an online network of birth control support that helps people decide on the best birth control method for their body and their lifestyle. So we have an array of different birth control methods that people can choose from and kind of measure it to what they do, how it fits their lifestyle, how it fits their body type.
The screening was also followed by a Q&A session. The organizations hope that their events will help students become more comfortable discussing topics relating to sexual health.
It's healthy. It's a healthy and natural thing, and I want people to enjoy it because there's a lot of people that might be ashamed and stuff, and we just want to make sure that everyone is being positive and happy about it.
The next event in Frisky February is Culture of Consent, which takes place Thursday at 8 p.m. in Newhouse 2, room 340. Isha Battu, CitrusTV News.
And coming up in sports, Syracuse basketball has an ACC test tonight against Clemson, and the Patriots got a hero's welcome today in Boston. Stick around for all of that and more after the break.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse hasn't beaten Clemson in ACC play since 2014. Now, you'd expect that in football, but in basketball, not quite. Regardless, the Orange has a chance to break the curse against the Tigers tonight at 8, and they'll have their hands full on the defensive end. Clemson averages almost 75 points per game. Luckily for the Orange, Tyler Lydon has been lights out on defense recently.
When Tyler Lydon didn't score much, but I'll tell you what, defensively down there, he was tremendous in the middle. He was tremendous. He was playing two guys in there. We were so concerned about their shooters, we wanted to stay out, and that opened up the middle, and he was 2-on-1 in there a lot. And it was a tremendous effort.
I mean, anything I can do to help this team out, and tonight it was defense and screening on the offensive end and just getting those guys open so that they can make a play.
In the women's game, Alexis Peterson and Brittany Sykes already say their backcourt's the best in the country, but by season's end, it might be the most decorated too. Sykes joined Peterson on the Dawn Staley Award watch list earlier today. The Dawn Staley Award is given annually to the best guard in women's college basketball. Peterson and Sykes have been making the most of their last season together on the Hill. Peterson is one of the nation's top scorers, averaging 23 points per game, while Sykes has been dynamic on both ends of the floor, scoring 19 points and snagging almost 8 rebounds per game. And an SU women's soccer star is ending her career on a high note too. Stephanie Skilton has been selected to the ACC All-Academic team. On top of 6 goals in her senior season, Skelton notched a GPA higher than 3.0. Skilton is set to end her time in the classroom with a degree in exercise science. And on the field, the forward ends her SU career with 58 points, good for 5th all-time in program history. And an Orange football coach has just been put in a class of his own. SU running backs guru Mike Hart is one of the top 25 college football coaches selected to take part in the NCAA and NFL Coaches Academy. Hart will have the chance to network with other coaches and executives from both the collegiate and NFL level. A running back by trade, Hart is the all-time rushing yards leader at Michigan and has coached 3,000-yard rushers. And a messy second half for the Falcons in Sunday's big game set the stage for an even messier morning in Boston today. The perfect storm of confetti and sleet did not stop the Patriots faithful from coming out and welcoming their home champions. Temperatures were barely above freezing, but the Duck Boats brought the Pats safely through the wintry mix for their second championship reception in the last 4 years. On to pro basketball, where the Knicks were on the wrong side of a loaded Lakers stat sheet. 121-107 was their final score. Kristaps Porzingis came close to a double-double, and the former Orange Carmelo Anthony went 10 for 17 for those 26 points. But weak play on the boards killed New York down the stretch. LA won the rebounding battle by 15 total boards. And in the NHL, we have some West Coast showdowns coming up here in the central New York area. The Garden is going to be loaded as the Blue Shirts take on the Ducks, and the Sharks come through Buffalo to take on the Sabres. The Rangers look to stretch their win streak to 3 tonight against the Ducks, while Buffalo needs to break out of a rough patch. The Sabres have won only 1 of their last 5 games.
We'll be right back.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Gilat, we had a lot of rain today. What can we expect for tomorrow? Will we need our umbrellas?
You know, if you have an 8 a.m., I would bring the umbrella just in case, but after that, you should be fine.
All right, and we all know that the temperatures are going to be gorgeous this week. What's the nicest weather day going to be?
Probably Saturday, just because, again, a day of no precipitation, and you will get into the 40s that day, too, and the rest of the week before, that's going to be a little cooler, so Saturday.
All right, thank you very much. Well, take a look at this video. Do you know who this man is? Well, former President Obama.
He's wearing a blue helmet. Billionaire Richard Branson is wearing red. The video was taken during Obama's vacation last week and released today.
It seems like the president is enjoying some well-deserved time off. I would absolutely love to go and do that, especially with the president.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Be sure to check out our website at CitrusTV.com. I'm Nick Papantonis.
And I'm Claudia Bellofatto. Have a great evening, Syracuse.